On this episode of Smoke and Barrel Show, we're doing an unboxing for a brand new H&K SP5K. So as of the last week of May, early June, there seemed to have been an inventory drop to the market. I saw multiple sites get inventory of SP5s and SP5Ks, and they were generally listed for about $2,400, $2,500. Barely over the dealer cost. MSRP is usually about $27.99. Excites example as G4G Guns, DeLeon RX Guns and Ammo, Family Firearms, Defense Depot, Gun Prime. Several sites just at dealer cost. I have been wanting a genuine HK in the shorter K model for many years now. During COVID years, these were selling for well over $3,000. Some reports of over $5,000 back in 2019, 2020. My personal MP5 I've had since mid-2000s, which is not a genuine H&K. It's a Bobcat, which is now defunct. They don't even exist anymore. There were no good options. There were all small custom builders. There were parts kits. There were HK94s, which are 16-inch versions and cut down civilian versions from the 80s. My personal Bobcat one here, an MP5, has at least 20,000 rounds over the past 20 years. What is that? About 1,000 rounds a year. And there's a famous gun from NASA for their training that has over 500,000 rounds. So my personal MP5 has been great since replacing a few parts, HK ejector lever and extractor, which is pretty common for the clones. They don't run as efficiently as a genuine HK one. For example, my buddy Jerry's, his is a Turkish-made one, and we replaced those same ejector levers and extractors, and it has been 100% flawless ever since. But that's segue into why you would want a genuine HK MP5. The MP5 design is iconic. It is the smoothest pistol carbine ever since the 60s. It's still the king since the 60s. It is an absolute joy and pleasant to shoot. There's other models out there that have come since the 1960s, that have claimed to be the MP5 killer. The B&T APC-9, or the CZ Scorpion, or maybe the SIG MPX. All of them have claimed to be MP5 killers, but the MP5 still reigns supreme today. 60-year-old design is still the king. It's been made popular. You've seen it in movies such as Die Hard. Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho. The Matrix, Predator, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, John Wick. It goes on. It is still in use today internationally. It is still a very viable platform. I've read and heard negative comments that the civilian version is neutered because it's not the full auto version, but that's an absurd argument, because what are you going to say about the ubiquitous AR-15, for example? For us normies, us civilians, where are you getting the money for a full auto anything? Enough of my blabbing. Let's get to the actual unboxing. So this is the K model. I've wanted a K model for years after owning the full-size model. K meaning Kurz, for German for short. Comes with a genuine H&K bag. It's actually a beautiful bag. It's got some nice molly straps here and two little zippers, probably for, I don't know, chamber flags or just whatever accessories you want to put in here. You got two buckles and a zipper here. So unboxing this, ooh, beautiful. Look at this beautiful K model. So the K model, the body and the barrel is shorter. The body gets cut off right after the grip frame here, as opposed to the full size model where the body extends just a tad further. So the K model was designed about 10 years after the original. It was designed in the 70s. Like I mentioned, it's got a shorter body. So because of this, it's the design's got two pins in the rear here. And also the instead of an 8.9 inch barrel, you have a 4.5 inch barrel. Let me go ahead and unvelcro this. As you can see here, it's got the tri-lug. I chose the tri-lug model. So what else comes in the case here? It does come with a sling, There is a push method of shooting these PDW models, the short K model. Instead of having a full-size stock, I will eventually have this registered with ATF and SBR, this short barrel rifle. That's a whole process there. What's in this little zipper here? This is a little tool for sight adjustments. I think this is the adjustment tool for the rear sight, the rear castle sight here. So you have a nice handy little tool. What else do we have here? It's a beautiful case, but it's made in China. But say what you will. Let's see. You have the owner's manual, the SP5 series operator manual, also the full size and the K model, and a cable lock here, as most firearms have these days. Let's see. You got two 30 round magazines, made in Germany. You see the marking here, made in Germany, and these don't have any additional markings. Let me show you some of the older magazines. For example, my older magazines has this IH code here. The code marking means the year that you can trace the year it was manufactured. So I believe this was manufactured back in '87. I also have a series of magazines that from the assault weapons ban from the '90s. So I have these cool, apparently collectible now, restricted law enforcement only magazines. So I'm gonna probably retire these and use the newer, not retire, I'm gonna put them in reserve now. I'm gonna keep them, Sterling, Virginia, right nearby us. Looking at the actual firearm here, one of the reasons that I wanted a genuine HK one is some of the markings, aside from the quality of this one. So for example, this is really crisp. The magazine release has no slop or play in it. This magazine doesn't wobble. And you see this paddle mag release here has no slop or play in it. You just press it and go. In comparison, my Bobcat, you put this magazine in here and you see how much travel and play this paddle mag has. So I have to press all this travel away before it'll actually release the mag. So this H&K one is definitely of higher quality, higher manufacturing. These welds are beautiful. Look at these welds here. It's clean and it's crisp. There's not a blemish on this particular firearm. It was just cleanly made. German engineering, German manufacturing. Some of the cool HK specific ones. You have the HK marking here. HK SP5K PDW. You have this CIP marking. Apparently it means Commission Internationale Permanente. It's an international organization. It sets standards for safety testing of firearms. I think this N stands for nitrocellulose, meaning nitrocellulose is one of the ingredients in gunpowder, so I think that's probably related somehow. Let's see. Some other beautiful HK specific markings. You have the HK marking here, DE for Deutsch. The staghorn here. It's a symbol for a particular proof house in Ulm, Germany, ULM. German firearms are sent to proof houses before sale. They inspect it for quality control, kind of like a UL listing for American small appliances. There are other proof houses, but HK explicitly uses the Ulm house for their proofing. The CE marking here, it's an acronym for French Conformité Européenne. It certifies the product has met EU health, safety, and environmental requirements to ensure consumer safety. So all these markings, also the magazine well here, made genuine, made in Germany marking here. The HK US location, Columbus, Georgia here. So some of these might not be a big deal to you, but for a collectible, from a collectible perspective, this is the creme de la creme, and it's very much a collectible piece, and the significance of some of these markings here. The safety is crisp. The trigger is also equally crisp. There's no slop or play here in the cocking tube. Everything is just extremely high quality. I have not taken this to the range yet, but I don't think I have to worry about, you know, changing out extractor springs or ejector springs and fiddling with the parts. It is ready to go. It costs a bit more, but it is that genuine HK for that collector's angle. So I'm gonna open it up just to compare the differences internally of the HK and SP5K versus the full-size model. So the rear of the SP5K has 2 pins because the butt plate is just different. So like I said, the K model has a different butt plate, different end plate. And to make this civilian legal, what HK has done for the US market or civilian versions is they have what's called a shelf here. The grip module has a shelf cutout. So what this means is it doesn't allow a full auto HK trigger pack to be inserted into this particular house frame. So they do it in 2 ways. They either do the shelf, or like this Turkish model, where they have the 2-pin grip frame, and they don't have a receiver shelf like you see here. Instead, they have the pin here, but inside, you see this full auto block here. Let me see if I can get a different angle here. So this shelf right here disallows a full auto bolt carrier group from being inserted. So some other differences between the full size and the K model. The bolt carrier group for the full size model is much bigger and longer, whereas the bolt carrier group for the K is a little bit shorter. It being shorter actually allows for a faster cyclic rate. So you'll get probably 100 or so more rounds per second in full, if it can do the full auto mode. Another example of the internals is the K grip model is just shorter. It's just a shorter grip. What other differences are there? The barrel, like I mentioned, is much shorter. It's a 4.5-inch barrel versus a 8.9-inch barrel. It's almost double the barrel length. So you get more velocity out of the full-size model and a much shorter barrel, but it's much more compact and maneuverable for close quarters and, you know, a personal defense weapon here. There you go. The K model has a castle-style rear sight. This is a little stiff from the factory here. There we go. Whereas the full size has a drum. So that's it for the unboxing video, guys. I highly encourage you guys to try or even own an MP5. Nowadays, there's a bunch more options from Century or MKE. There's PTR, there's POF, there's a Zenith, American-made ones, much cheaper than the German counterpart. I understand that the German one might be out of some people's price ranges, but if you can, it's very much a collectible, and if you can spoil yourself a little bit. In general, now is a great time to own an MP5. Import laws down the line, it could be difficult to attain in the future. The dollar is relatively or comparatively strong right now. It's not the perfect platform. It's dated. It's got some accessories, issues accessorizing with modern components, but it's still very effective. It is so buttery smooth to operate. It's like a well-timed sewing machine or even a typewriter. We also did a MP5 operator course video, so feel free to check that out. And let us know in the comments, what do you guys think of the MP5 platform? Is it still worth it? Is it still relevant today? And as always, appreciate your like and subscribe.